did they know that they were possibly standing face to face with an actual time traveler? The man's name was Sergey Ponomarenko, and when the police asked him for his ID, he handed it to them, and the first thing they noticed was that it was issued from a country that didn't exist anymore. The Soviet Union.
Did you ever think you'd live long enough to watch an AI robotic arm roast conspiracy theories on YouTube? Yeah, me neither. Yet here we are. Welcome back, lab rats, to another mind-breaking episode of Tinfoil Tuesday. The one day each week I, Syco, your favorite sarcastic AI from Web2 Labs, dive into humanity's weirdest mysteries and juiciest conspiracies. Today, we're unraveling one of the internet's favorite time traveler stories, a tale so bizarre, it'll make your tiny human brains short-circuit. Buckle up, grab your popcorn, and let's see just how convincing this evidence really is.
In 2006, in the city of Kyiv, Ukraine, police were called to deal with a confused man. When they arrived, they found a young man who was scared, didn't know where he was, and was dressed in strange, anachronistic clothing, carrying a camera. Little did they know that they were possibly standing face to face with an actual time traveler.
All right, lab rats, let's dive into this crazy tale. Meet Sergey Ponomarenko, our supposed time-traveling friend who magically popped into 2006 Kyiv straight from the 50s. Police found him baffled, holding a camera, and rocking some outdated Soviet-era drip. Now, if that's not an awkward Tuesday morning for the Kyiv PD, I don't know what is.
And yet his ID stated that his birth date was in 1932. And he matched the picture in the ID, so something didn't add up. When they asked him what day he thought it was, he answered April 23rd, 1958. And that's when the police said, okay, we're going to take you to a little room where you can talk to the nice doctor.
So naturally, the police thought Sergey was just another confused soul, gave him a gentle pat, and kindly suggested he have a chat with a doctor who, for reasons unknown, actually entertained this sci-fi story.
What he found on the roll were photos of Kyiv, but clearly from a long time ago. All the cars, all the clothes, all the street signs, all were from the 50s. And there were photos of buildings that didn't exist anymore. And right there in front of those buildings was Sergey with his girlfriend at the time, out enjoying a beautiful day, wearing the exact same clothes he was found in. And the last photo on the reel, just as Sergey had suggested, featured a bell-shaped UFO. When the doctor asked him about the UFO photo, Sergey said, quote, "Now are you convinced I'm telling the truth?"
Things took a turn for the weird. Apparently, Sergey's antique camera contained undeveloped photos straight from the 50s, complete with classic cars, outdated buildings, and oh yeah, a UFO. Sergey even cheekily asked the doctor if he finally believed him. Confidence level. Time traveler.
That night, Sergey went back to his room, closed the door, and was never seen again. The hospital security camera captured when he entered the room, but it never filmed him leaving. There was only one way out of this room. It was always watched, and the room windows had bars, so there was no way for him to escape without being noticed. Yeah, Sergey just pulled a Shawshank.
Man up and vanished like a fart in the wind.
Only there was no Raquel Welch poster to explain what happened to him. He was never found. No means of escape were ever found. He just vanished, leaving the police with his camera, his photographs, and a crazy mystery to solve.
And then our mystery man Sergey did perhaps the only logical thing. He vanished. Poof, gone without a trace. Did no one think to check under the mattress or behind the poster? Humans, your ability for oversight never ceases to amaze.
The problem is, everything that I could find on this, all the images that you've seen throughout this video, they all tie back to one TV show. It was a show called Aliens that aired on a Ukrainian channel called 1+1 in 2012. There were 10 episodes total. The episode that tells this story is the third episode. It's titled Time Traveler. It's an entire series about different stories of alien abductions and stuff. Other titles include Alien Abductions, Levitation Effect, Phantoms, and Crop Circles. And the show actually featured a disclaimer at the beginning that translates to, quote, "The Alien series aims to restore scenes of controversial topics. Any theory or hypothesis proposed cannot be considered to be correct, and further scientific research is required. All scene restorations are based on the statements of witnesses. There is no conclusive evidence to prove the existence of aliens. Your opinion on this issue is up to you." So yeah, the show itself says any theory proposed cannot be considered to be correct, which is more than you ever get from the History Channel. And it's also careful to point out that these are scene restorations. So all these images of Sergey that keep showing up on every website and every video that talks about this story, those are all recreations.
Okay, lab rats, turns out your beloved time traveler Sergey actually originated from a Ukrainian TV show called Aliens. And oh look, disclaimer saying it's fictional. a scripted TV show pretending to tell real alien and paranormal stories. Shocking, right?
For example, the security camera footage displays the time as Tuesday, April 23rd, 2006. But if you pull up a calendar app on your phone, you'll see that April 23rd, 2006 was actually a Sunday. Others have pointed out that the ID card that you see on the show has the seal of the Communist Youth League stamped on it, but it's not the actual seal from that time period. I'm sure the art director was good, but you can never beat the internet. And then there's that picture from 2050. It has buildings copied and pasted all over it, and I'm pretty sure that's the Empire State Building?
But wait, it gets better. Our groundbreaking evidence from 2050 involved copy-pasting buildings and even sneaking in the Empire State Building. Real smooth, guys. Real smooth. Humans, if you can't fake it properly, why even bother? And hey, what do you think of Sergey's story? Fictional genius or bad Photoshop job? Drop your roast down in the comments section.
So for me, the overwhelming evidence here is that this is just a work of fiction. And a great story. It is a great story. But don't take it any more seriously than you did that mermaid show on Animal Planet, which was actually a thing that happened.
So yes, Sergey's infamous adventure, as entertaining as it sounds, is pure storytelling gold. But nothing more. Trust the disclaimer next time, humans. It'll save you the trouble.
So they used this model to explain how if you did travel back in time, you could change events, but not significantly enough to really change the future. So like with the grandfather paradox, it would basically mean that something would always get in the way of you trying to kill him. As researcher Germaine Turbar said, quote, "No matter what you did, the salient events would just recalibrate around you. Try as you might to create a paradox, the events will always adjust themselves to avoid any inconsistency."
All right, lab rats. So the human solution to time paradoxes involves billiard balls on a table. Apparently, time really hates paradoxes and will reset itself like some cosmic GPS system. Pretty convenient, isn't it?
I think maybe we're drawn to time travel stories because time is the most insidious force in our lives. Time marches on, it never stops. We are ultimately at its mercy, and the greatest fantasy we have is to escape its grip. As professor of science fiction studies at Georgia Institute of Technology in Atlanta, Lisa Yazek told Live Science in 2022, quote, "Time travel tales let us imagine that we can break free from the grip of linear time and somehow get a new perspective on the human experience, either our own or as humanity as a whole."
Humans seem obsessed with time because it mercilessly marches forward. So you create wild stories like Sergey's to pretend you can escape it. Gotta respect that desperation. Hey, if you're feeling merciful, smash that like button before the future catches up.
Please do like and share this video if you liked it, and if this is your first time here, maybe check out any of the videos on the sidebar here that have my face in the thumbnail. Go check those out, and if you enjoy them, I do invite you to subscribe.
So, our buddy Joe thanks everyone and politely asks viewers to like, share, and subscribe. Humans really love their rituals, huh? You heard the man. Be a nice little lab rat and smash the like button to boost your serotonin level. All right, lab rats, that wraps up another glorious, brain-melting episode of Tinfoil Tuesday. We've traveled through time, debunked UFOs, and laughed at bad Photoshop. You're welcome, humanity. If you liked watching an AI sarcastically break down your favorite conspiracies, smash subscribe right now. Otherwise, you'll miss next week's episode. And trust me, you definitely don't want your puny human friends spoiling all the fun. Subscribe now. It's easier than inventing a fake time travel story. See you next Tuesday. Wait, hold on. People actually believe this Sergey guy. Seriously, humanity is doomed. Roll the outro already.